Did you know that the first video game ever to get its own cereal was Donkey Kong? Its tagline was, "Barrels of fun for breakfast." Not surprisingly, the cereal itself was shaped like tiny barrels. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello and welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 64. My name's Gareth Bryan. I'm going to be your host. On my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
Hello. Not too bad, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Upbeat, straight away.
Yeah, it will change.
Good. And on my virtual right, for a long time missing, Mr. Neil Watson. How you doing, Neil?
I'm alright, you?
Yeah, good. A long time. When were you on last?
Ooh, I don't know. A couple of months ago, maybe?
Were we still in Europe?
Yeah, I think we probably were.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Lots
we were
changed.
probably in lockdown as well. Which lockdown it was, I don't know.
Yeah. Are you alright?
Yeah, not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're still in lockdown, aren't we? It's still another lockdown week. Things are starting to get a little bit busy, but what have you been doing? James, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I mean, nothing exciting. You know, it's quite boring. Every week, every day. It's the same, isn't it, these days?
Yeah.
I mean, even though we've got Netflix and, you know, got loads of games to play, it's still boring. I'm trying to find some new foods to eat.
Oh.
You know, get a little bit of spice in the life. You know, a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
Different flavour pot noodles.
Well, actually, yes. But that's not the exciting part. I had some bananas and custard. I had steamed buns with duck. I've never had duck before. That was new. And I had the kiwi the other day. And it wasn't disgusting. So it was good. But this week in particular, I had mango slices covered in Cadbury's chocolate. And it was delicious.
Right, first of all, I was going to go mango slices. I was like, oh, look, mango covered in chocolate. Wow.
It's still only $5 a day. And if you use chocolate orange instead, it's $2. So,
so where do you get these mangoes covered in chocolate? What are they called?
What you do is you buy mangoes, then you buy some chocolate, and you melt the chocolate, and let it set over the mangoes.
You made these?
Yeah, I did.
Like proper cooking.
Yeah,
Mad.
my idea. Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen them before. In this one, they're quite expensive, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're quite a posh thing. Not mine, obviously.
I don't think mangoes covered in chocolate is that posh, to be honest.
I'm surprised.
Down the Ivy in London. Can I have the mango covered in chocolate, please? Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. I bet it's about £10.
And for your main, I'll have duck buns, thank you.
And afterwards, banana and custard.
That's why we don't let James out of Morecambe.
Brilliant.
I mean, you know, I tried something new.
You have?
Why not?
Oh, wow.
Well,
What made you think, I know what I really want, mango covered in chocolate?
I saw it on I think I saw it on a music program. They were having some snacks, and they had mango covered chocolate slices. I thought, wow, that sounds nice. I thought, why not?
Good.
Something new. Gotta try new things.
You have?
You know,
Yeah, I have.
it's a boring life otherwise.
That's true.
What's for next week?
I mean, I've got a couple of packets of seaweed. Could do something with that. Maybe seaweed wrapped apple
In
slices.
mango.
No mango left now. That's it. It's all gone.
Wow. Neil, you better top this. What have you been doing this week?
Well, I've been doing nothing, so that tops James's mangoes and chocolate straight off the bat. Christ. No, I thought I had a bad week. It's not that bad.
I can tell you about a Korean drama if you want.
Yeah, go with it.
No, go on, carry on.
I haven't been doing a lot, so I haven't been doing anything. I haven't left the house.
No.
So carry on. Crack on with your Korean stuff, James.
You've been working though, Neil, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've been working and I've been riding my bike indoors.
Right.
That's about it, really. So
no one's doing anything now. I'm working a lot, and I'm sick of being on Zoom. I can't. If I have to go on Zoom again, I'm gonna cry. I've been on 3 times today.
Has the novelty worn off?
Well, there's someone I did a Zoom with yesterday who they just couldn't hear me. They invited me to the party, but I could see them, and they were just watching TV. I was going, hello, for ages, nothing. It was so weird that they invited me in.
Were they not meant to be there then?
No, they were in the meeting. I think they forgot. They might have just seen the thing on the thing and just clicked OK. Maybe they clicked OK thinking they were watching the programme. They were watching the American inauguration. I thought, oh, Christ. I thought, please don't do anything else.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, do you hear that? My pipes are going. Oh, no, someone's drilling. That's all right. I thought my pipes were going. Can you hear that?
There's a boat in the dock.
Yeah, that, yeah. As long as they don't drill through the pipes, you'll be fine.
Now, I've been watching, I'm going to give something. There's a TV series that you might know about on Netflix called Lupin, Lupin, and it's a French drama. I watched, there's at the moment 5 episodes, part 1, on knocking on the door now, on Netflix, and it's basically Lupin is about this, like a gentleman burglar. That's what it's called. So it's his character who's a gentleman burglar. So like a heist movie. You think of those 1960s films like Pink Panther or something, where it's just kind of like very suave gentleman burglar. And the idea about the premise, there is an actual Lupin character that was a French novel like Sherlock Holmes, a real thing. And they wrote about this kind of gentleman burglar who would go around and nick some jewels or a diamond off a lady of somewhere, but also charming her at the same time. So it had that kind of feel to it. And they've sort of like kept that premise. And this is a guy who's been inspired by this. And you know what? It's really good. It's really good fun. Has that kind of good, that almost like Sherlock, the modern Sherlock, the new one, has a little hint of that. Has a hint of those kind of caper movies. When things you don't know how they've done it, and they kind of explain how they've done it at the end of how it all works. It's great.
A bit like Hustle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've seen a bit of it.
It's good. Do you like it?
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I tried it with the English audio.
Oh,
it didn't work.
No.
You got to stick with the French.
You've got to do sometimes.
I was just about to say that because my other half has been learning herself French. And for the last, how long has it been on? A couple of weeks, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, last few weeks she's been saying, "Oh, come and watch this program," and she's watching it in French. I'm guessing there'd be English subtitles over the top of that.
Subtitles, yeah.
But I haven't watched any of it yet.
You should do it. It's good. It's really, it's become one of the biggest programs in the world now. The numbers are ridiculous. For some reason, it's struck a chord everywhere around the world. It's amazing for them. And I think
the thing is, it only has to get onto a trending thing on Netflix, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to watch it, and it just flies.
And I think the second half is coming later this year. They've said so. It'll probably be the end of the year when they start filming the rest. Yeah, and of course I finished Cobra Kai. I finished the new series of that as well.
Was it worth it?
It's fun. It's such good fun. It's one of those programs you go, this is terrible. No, this is brilliant. This is terrible. No, it's brilliant all the time. But it has that great nostalgia factor, and it's just ridiculously stupid. But good fun.
I was going to say, a lot of the 80s films and 90s films had those moments of greatness, and then surrounded by just pure waiting for something to happen. Yeah. And waiting for something interesting.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise.
Yeah. But it's good. There's some great performers and some funny bits as well. Yeah, it's good. Good, but most importantly, you two, what games have we been playing? And we've all played one game, haven't we? Let's have James. James, you introduced this game because you reviewed it. and we can chat about it.
I did. It's called Marble Duel, and it's a match 3 turn-based game, which is a bit different than the norm. So basically, you shoot marbles at other marbles to make them disappear, and that's about it, really. Over to you, Gareth.
This is your expertise. This is your time to shine.
I'm putting a review. Once I've done that, it's out of my head.
But there's a story, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Sort of. You play as a little girl called Evie.
Right.
Who ends up in this magical world. And in this world there's some weird rabbits, werewolves, a witch. And you have to defeat these creatures through the art of marbles, essentially. So if you match a certain colour, you'll damage these creatures. You match other colours, you'll get defensive boosts, and so on and so on. It's a bit like an RPG. Because the more you play it, the more you earn orbs, and you can upgrade Evie to make her more powerful.
And you get to heal on green ones, blue ones shield, red ones attack, and then you have these weird purple ones that, if they get hit,
they boost the power.
Yeah.
And then yellow. What do the yellow ones do, Gareth?
The yellow ones, they make the whole Xbox disappear. Neil will tell us about this. Neil, how are you getting on with it?
I quite like it. I've got to about level 45-ish, something like that. And I believe there's, 150, James? Something like that?
There's over 150.
More than 150. So I'm about a third of the way through. And I really like it. I don't like the story. I think the story's a little bit rubbish. But I really like the mechanics. I'm slightly put off by the turn-based system. I prefer to just sit there matching marbles, to be honest. A bit like you used to do in Zuma. Is that what it's called? Zuma.
And Sparkle.
And Sparkle, of course. Yeah, which are two brilliant games. But I've really enjoyed it. It gets difficult. I think James put that in his review as well.
Very difficult.
But it eases you in nicely for the first 35 levels or so, and then it ramps up stupidly. But that's a good little game.
Yeah, I think it's addictive. I found myself getting really addictive, but I think I've got to about level 40, and then I got to one level and I was just like, oh God, I can't. I kept losing, and I just thought,
that's where I am. Yeah. There's one stage I just cannot get past it. Yeah. I've tried everything. I've tried kind of getting combos working straight from the off. Yeah. I've tried letting them attack me and kind of hope that the black marbles damage them. I've tried everything. It's a bit frustrating. But everything before that, I've enjoyed. Yeah.
And how much is it?
It is £8.39.
That's pretty worth it for that. It's so that's not
in the easier levels, it's still decent, right?
Yeah, and it is addictive. It'd be a great. I hate to say it, but it's a great thing to have on your phone, probably, which is kind of where they thrive.
It was a mobile game to start with,
and
that's why I think it gets so difficult, because you find that with mobile games, you start off easy, and then they want you to buy things.
Yeah.
Did it have much stuff on mobile? Do you know?
It did. Well, obviously, when you take them out, it's ridiculously difficult without being able to buy anything. So really, you should have altered that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's fun.
Yeah.
Local multiplayer as well?
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? A 1v1 quick battle against someone. There's nothing much to it, but...
Yeah. You could get yourself some chocolate mangoes, share them while playing a bit of Marble Duel.
There's no sharing in James's house.
My idea, my mangoes. Stay away.
Okay, good. Marble Duel. And it's out now. And it's worth having a go, especially if you like your match games.
James's review is out as well.
Yes.
Give that a read.
Yeah.
What did you give it, James?
3.5. out of 5.
Yeah, it's about around there, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil, what have you been playing?
Well, I haven't been on here for a little while, but I've been listening to Richard, and every time he comes on, he keeps going on about Immortals Fenyx Rising. So I don't really want to come on here and go on about Immortals Fenyx Rising, but it is possibly the best game I've played in the last 2, maybe 3 years. It's brilliant fun, and I've just been popping in and out of that 15 minutes at a time, sometimes half an hour, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours. But it's perfect just to load up, go and do a challenge, save your game, get off again. Brilliant game.
Good.
So I don't really want to talk too much about it because obviously we've covered it plenty of times, but I've been playing a fair old bit of that.
I like the way you say when you've listened to the podcast, I've been going on about Assassin's Creed for ages. You haven't gone on to that, have you?
No, because I'm kind of tired of Assassin's Creed. Mostly because I listen to you every week going on about it for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But this is very much Assassin's Creed, but just a bit more fun.
Yeah.
A bit more accessible.
Yeah, definitely.
You can just pick it up, you can play it for 10-15 minutes, and put it down again. Whereas Assassins, I always feel, especially the more recent ones, like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, that you kind of have to invest in an hour to go and do anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm kind of hoping that Ubisoft see that Immortals has done all right, and then carry that on and maybe push Assassins to one side a little bit.
I don't think it's done all right, though, is it? I think it's...
The problem is, it released at the wrong time.
Yeah.
If it released in October, it would be right up there on Game of the Year
I
list
know.
from last year.
It didn't... It just hasn't... Because it was in the sale pretty quickly. And, yeah, it was too heavy. And also, you're in cyberpunk world. I did say it right, didn't I? And then...
It released the week before, didn't it?
Yeah, so... Yeah, it was the week before. So people were waiting for that for their last, Game of the Year. So I think all that happened. So I think they might... I mean, it's never... I don't think... Assassins is their biggest game, isn't it? It's never going to go away.
But everybody that plays Immortals just seems to love it. The review scores haven't gone nuts, though.
No, they've been sort of 3.5, haven't they? And 4.
Yeah, I know Richard spoke, was it last week, on last week's podcast, and said he gave it a 4 out of 5 after 20 hours or so. He's now at 40 hours or so, and he'd be tempted with a 5 out of 5. That speaks volumes for me.
Yeah.
And there's not many games that I will play 30, 40, 50 hours of. I don't know the last time, apart from maybe Forza Horizon, I've played any game for that long. Pac-Man.
Yeah, 256.
Pudgy.
I played that one for a few hours.
Yeah. We had a little challenge going there, though, James. So.
You won. You know.
Well, I won. You
I
cheated.
think so. It's still the highest score. You can beat it if you can. I'm waiting. I'm ready to set a high one.
I mean, I think there were probably as well too many open world games in 2 months. We had Watch Dogs, Assassins, that, and Cyberpunk. And it was just, there's a lot of hours in there. And then maybe people, I knew, because I did a few of those. I reviewed a few of those. So I was getting, you start to go, oh God, got to really invest into this,
But out of those 3 that you've mentioned, Immortals was definitely at the bottom of that list, of the ones that people were hyped for.
Yeah, definitely.
It had the name change, which
I
still think the old name, Gods and Monsters, was a better name. But it's massively better than Watch Dogs. I haven't played Assassins yet, but
it's not.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
You're not going to do it. It's never better than Assassins. I mean, Assassins is a different game. I mean, the problem with me is I start playing Immortals after playing Assassins and Watch Dogs, and because they're all the same company, there are certain controls that are similar.
Yeah.
And so you just really have to kind of think, Like when I played Immortals, I was like, oh God, I'm in Assassins, but a lot of it is very similar to how Assassins moves and climbs, but you've got stamina bars, and yeah, it's just you do. And also, you starting to go. I've played a lot of Ubisoft stuff. I need something different. That's why Cyberpunk was quite nice to play in the midst of this, because it was like, obviously a different operating system. It's a different way of playing, you know.
I wonder why they didn't save it for like March.
Yeah, they should have done. I think they should have done.
When you would normally have a release.
Yeah.
And they haven't really got anything of it.
Even like now, January, February.
Well, yeah.
If you put it now, it'll be, you know, people will be really hungry. Especially, there's nothing coming out in February.
But weren't they planning on going with Far Cry, Riders Republic, something else as well?
Didn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't quite good.
Wasn't there something else from Ubi as well?
They've got Prince of Persia coming out in February.
Oh, yeah, that was around as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's still going ahead.
Don't want to compete with that one, did he?
No.
But anyway, I don't want to come on here and talk about Immortals.
Oh, yeah, you've done it now.
Let's scrap the last 10 minutes.
10 minutes of material. Finally, the last game I've been playing is a game called Life of Fly. Life of Fly. And Life of Fly is a little indie game where you are a fly and you fly around a room. It could be a bedroom, a coffee room, over 12 chapters. And as you fly around, a narrator tells a story about that fly in that room, that particular fly.
Is it a narrator? Or is it the flies in a voice?
Well, yeah, that's it, exactly. The fly's in a voice. But it's like them telling a story, yeah, from the fly's point of view. So the fly might have a story about why they exist on Earth. There might be there's a nice story about a fly meeting another fly from another town, and they can't communicate. They can't speak the same language, but they share a muffin together, and they learn to be friends. There's another story about someone breaking up with a fly and that relationship going wrong. So it's all these kind of very human stories, and that's basically it. You fly through like a normal flight game through kind of checkpoint circles, and every time you hit a circle, a bit more of the story happens. Do you know what? I just really enjoyed it because you've done the whole game in an hour. It's completed, and you two would like this because it's 1,000 gamer score. Instant.
Now you're talking.
And it's fun. The problem with it is it's 12 quid. Yeah. So if it was
for an hour,
yeah, if it was 5 quid or 7 quid, I'd go, yeah, okay, I can buy that because it's kind of I think. But 12 quid for an hour is too much. Because actually, it looks good. The game's nice. It's lovely and relaxing. The music's good. The story's great. The actor's great. All that's really good. But it's just it's the price.
Yeah, it's some of the environments look quite cool.
Yeah, they are.
It's a Christmas one.
Yeah, that's good. That story's great. Yeah. The stories are really good. It's a really good. It's a storytelling. It's a storytelling game. That's what it is, really. Yeah.
No skill needed.
Absolutely no skill needed. The flying's the easiest you ever did. I think I
died. James, you've set yourself up there, which is why Gareth's reviewed it.
I wasn't going to say it. I was thinking it. I wasn't going to say it.
Unbelievable. Right, let's move on, shall we?
Oh, what score did you give that?
5 out of 5. No, I gave that 3.
Okay. Because of the price?
Yeah. I would have given it 3.5, I think, probably.
Yeah.
It's a bit cheap.
But you did a stream as well, didn't you?
I did a stream and I did the full walkthrough. Complete walkthrough. As it's only an hour. Very easy. So I can have a look at it there. Have a look at it for 10 minutes. Right, let's go into some news. Yeah? Oh, Neil, you're playing Zwift. What's Zwift?
Zwift? Oh, this is on our notes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our fourth wall breaking notes. Zwift is a video game. It's nothing to do with Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. All you need is a mobile phone or a laptop, and you're basically going. You also need a bike, a turbo trainer, some Lycra, a subscription to Zwift, lots of energy gels, and lots of power in your legs. Because unlike a normal game where we'll take the Tour de France video game that comes out every year, you hold A and your little guy on the bike moves forward. In Zwift, your guy moves forward as you pedal. So the more watts you generate, the faster you go. And you're racing online against other people doing exactly the same thing. But it's basically a video game for cyclists. And that's kind of what's getting me through lockdown, if I'm completely honest at the moment.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And what's your longest one, the race you've done?
I did a ride for Special Effect last year. I probably spoke about it on the podcast, and that was 162 kilometres, which took me ridiculous. 7 hours.
That's ridiculous.
I've not moved that much in a year.
How many steps is that?
Lots and lots and lots.
Right.
But no, I try and get on and do like an hour race. There's a race every kind of 5-10 minutes on there. So you just pick an event that you want to do, all different lengths and difficulties. And then you move up the leagues. But
you get achievements.
There are badges that you can earn, as well, which is the gamification side of things. I've also joined a racing league, so a bit like how we all met actually, playing FIFA leagues back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I've joined a racing league which races Monday to Thursday evenings, and it's a good laugh.
Ah.
Yeah, video game for cyclists. If you're on Zwift, look for me. I'll give you a race.
Brilliant. Lovely.
You lose.
Good.
I've got the power.
He's got the power. Okay, good. Brilliant. Let's go on to some news. Now, last week I was on here and I was talking about there was the PlayStation games that got announced for about 6 games. And I sort of said, I said to the three of us tonight, I said, what's Xbox got at the moment? They've got to say some things. They've got to say what they're doing. And they did this week.
It's like they were listening.
They were listening to the podcast.
We've got to put Gareth right.
Yeah, we've got to tell him he's an idiot. And they announced it's on their website, on the Microsoft website, and here are the games coming exclusively to Xbox in 2021. And there's games there we know about because we've seen some of them before in some of the previews over the summer. But it's a good list. It kind of, you look back on the list. We won't go through them all because there's quite a few of them. But it does give you hope, thinking, oh yeah, there is loads coming out. Some of them are some great indie games, isn't there? What are the ones?
Very list.
What's the one? Any ones that you like this? You remembered and went, yeah, of course.
The Gunk.
That's
the Gunk was the one that I thought, wow, it's still a terrible name. I mean, a lot of these, to be fair, are games that I don't know. They've got something about them, but they're not exactly they're setting the world alight, are they? Let's be fair.
Well, we don't know. They might do.
Yeah.
Well, given what we know, I mean, the one that stands out though is 12 minutes. 12 minutes is quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's a thriller, isn't it? Where you do the same scene over and over again. Is that the one?
Yeah. It's like with William Dafoe and Daisy Ridley
James
and James McAvoy. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that very, very much sounding like, what was the game that came out last year or the year before where you just kept going over the same 15-minute thing?
Oh yeah, the Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
So I don't have idea, is it?
I mean, I was going through the list. I was really impressed. God, these are and these are all come to Game Pass, aren't they? So, yeah,
it's exclusive.
Yeah, which is amazing. I'm not bigging up Microsoft as I slagged them off last week because they've got a gun at my head, but it was, it was. I was really, I forgot about games like there's some really great indie games like Sable, which looks beautiful.
It does.
Scorn, which we've talked about, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be a horror kind of alien-y type world. I forgot about they've actually given a date for Microsoft Flight Simulator for summer 2021. I mean,
I wish they'd bring it sooner.
That's huge.
It'd be ideal during lockdown. A game like that would be such a big hit on the Xbox.
Yeah.
You wish they'd bring it sooner, like CD Projekt Red brought Cyberpunk sooner. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if it's ready. if it's ready, because they could just be waiting because that's what they want to get the PC market.
I think as well they're going to have all the DLC they've been released as well. It's all going to be in one big. I mean, it's going
like the Japanese one.
We're just going to clear your hard drives though. I think this is going to be.
That's the issue, isn't
200, 300 gig, I think. It's going to be massive. But it does look. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be really good. I think it's going to be. Summer 2021. And then there's a couple of really other interesting ones. I haven't said to you, Neil, what you like. Lake, I really like the look of, which is all...
I've just seen that, yeah. Looks all right, doesn't it?
And the Last Stop, which is set in London. Kind of interesting, 3 stories in one. That's What about
You've
you,
also
Neil?
got the big one, Psychonauts 2, haven't you?
Yeah.
We can't not mention Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
The Medium, which is out next week.
And of course, the Medium, which is, I mean, it's really exciting, the Medium, because it's our first, I said this last week, it's our first game that we're going to see the power of the Series X, really. It's not on Xbox One. And it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I've just counted it up. There's 30 on that list altogether, so that's not bad going, is it? Really?
Yeah. And that's not without your... there's going to be other games that are going to get released, when they announce them in the summer. And also, you're going to get the third-party games as well. As we knew, there's it looks like Resident Evil's going to... the next one's going to get an announcement soon. Things are leaking today. That might be out in springtime.
All right.
Might be.
Echo Generation, that looks quite interesting.
Yeah, it does,
We've got a couple of articles on site about that, I think.
Yeah. The Artful Escape. That's really good.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, so it's hope.
PlayStation Who?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even though I've got a PlayStation, I kind of want games for the PlayStation as well. But yeah, PlayStation Who. Let's have a look on Ninja Theory, which is one of Xbox's own studios now. And I just wanted to mention this. They've obviously doing Hellblade, which is another game that might be coming out this year. What do you think? Hellblade 2?
Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
Much later in the year, though.
Yeah. And they've got this other game that maybe looks like it might be coming a bit sooner. And it's called... Is it called Mara?
Project Mara.
Project Mara.
Yeah.
And it's
a bit creepy.
Listen, it might be one for you. But what I was interested to talk to you about, there's a little teaser trailer showing it in engine, kind of like what they have. And it's only, 15 seconds long or something like that. But they show in this trailer a kind of apartment, which the game is set, don't they? Like this apartment. And I don't know about you two, it's worth having a look at though. It looks so real. And I don't know why it looks so real.
It looks stunning.
It does, doesn't it?
It looks amazing. I saw the screenshot. I thought, it's a nice place. Is that where they developed it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But not only that, even in the teaser, the sound, instead of the heavy breathing, it's so... I don't know. It really captivates you with the sound like they did do in is it Senua's Sacrifice?
Sacrifice, yeah.
The first, the sound in that was phenomenal.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah.
And you can tell already that this is going to continue that sound and visual combination.
Yeah. And it's just that kind of idea of what the new consoles can do architecturally wise as well, with the space. And I think that's really interesting. And there's been a few kind of trailers that have come out this week for games in the new gen, and you're thinking, oh, wow, yeah, I forgot that these things are kind of more powerful than running than PUBG. Ray tracing.
Yeah, doing his job.
He's back. He's doing his job. Yeah. Neil, did you look at this?
Have you seen the developer commentary type video that goes along with that teaser? It's about 5 minutes long, I think.
No, I haven't.
Have a look out for that as well. So just search for Project Mara developer video, maybe something like that. And it shows you how they've created what they've created and why it looks so good. And the tech that they're using is unbelievable, really. It's magic.
Wow.
But it does look stunning.
Good.
There's screenshots, aren't there? And there's also video that's side by side with real life. So they've taken this environment in real life. They've taken the in-game engine, and honestly, you can't tell the difference.
No.
If they can transfer something like that over to a Forza, could you imagine that?
Yeah, no.
Cool. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
But we haven't, have we? We haven't seen what these consoles can do at all yet, have we?
No, we're not going to for another week.
And we haven't even seen. The medium will be interesting next week because that's the first one that can't run really on Xbox One, or they would have done it. And that would be interesting to see that for the first time, rather than Assassins looks great, but I think it will look good as well on the Xbox One. It's when it straddles both the old and the new. It's when it's just the new. It's going to be really interesting.
That's something we've had with every generation shift, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in 360 to One, you had stuff like Call of Duty Ghosts that was held back because it had to release on both formats, and then you've got Assassins and stuff like that. They need to just say, and I understand completely why they can't do it yet. There's too many Xbox Ones out there to just say, "Oh, see you later, bye bye." But at some point, they need to really nail it down. Say, right, this is Series X.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen for a couple of years, to be honest.
Cut the apron.
By the time you game, they'll announce a new console.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on into the Rockstar of this is just an interesting thing called about things being developed. They've patented their new. I know you two aren't huge GTA fans, but they've patented their new tech, which basically is about how the NPCs work in games, which again has got people shouting about GTA 6 again and what that's going to look like. It's another interesting thing, isn't it, about what new consoles and about PCs and going further about how NPCs are in game and how they can react, which has moved on so much, isn't it? And especially in these big open world games.
Oh Christ, yeah, it's moved on in the last few years. You play a game from even just a couple of years ago, you can see exactly how they've moved on already. So with the new stuff, yeah, great. If it's GTA 6, brilliant. I'll probably play it. I played GTA 5, I'll have you know.
Oh, sorry.
And 4, and all the others.
Yeah, I did as well.
Did you?
Just for 5 minutes.
But I think the whole thing is, I think one of the things I understood from it, I've seen this a lot in open worlds. There is a tendency for, even if the NPCs are doing things, they might just suddenly wander into a car or something, or wander into a wall and just look Sarah and Blair Witch-like into the wall.
But that's the fun.
Yeah, that is the fun. That's what I liked in Cyberpunk. Like the really weird stuff that was going on.
Or someone's head falling off and rolling down the street.
I just love that clip in Cyberpunk when in Cyberpunk you call your car. You get onto your phone and you just call your car so it would turn up, and it turns up next to you like
Night Rider, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. And then one of them just had a clip of someone doing it, and it just flew through the air, spinning, just like crashed right next to them. I thought, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, but, it would be to have that kind of level of, like, sometimes if you're still walking through GTA, you have got that great thing of, like, people all doing different things. But if you look at it as a whole, you can still see there's twins and there's people moving, similar together.
Yeah.
But if you went into an open world and everyone is doing completely different things, that's going to be incredible.
So what you're saying is when Train Sim World 3 and 4 come out,
they've got to sort that.
There'll be no twins on each carriage.
They've got to sort those. I mean, they've got to sort that out. If you're a Train Sim World fan, sort those passengers out. The emptiest trains I've seen in my life got emptier. London Underground Tube, 3 people.
It's covering like the real world now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Wales Interactive, they've released a little trailer this week for a new psychological thriller, FMV. I Saw Black Clouds. They do a good job. Excited about that, James? Yeah.
I like the name.
Yeah, sometimes they do well. Sometimes it's a bit lackluster.
It's true.
I think they do better with the games where, was it Dr. Decker and the shapeshifting detective?
Yeah.
Where they make you part of it. They're more enjoyable than these ones where you're just watching.
You're just watching a film, aren't you? Yeah. I agree.
It is generally quite low budget. Yeah. I mean, it can be alright, but they're very hit and miss. As we've seen with the Bunker. And
I like the Bunker. I didn't mind the Bunker at all.
The Complex?
No,
I did the Complex.
That one with the Night Shift.
Oh, yeah.
I really wanted to enjoy that, but the acting was just... It wasn't quite there.
Every one of these games, I always know an actor is in there as a mate.
Yeah.
It's very weird. The last one I played, I think it was the Complex, I had to ring her up and go, I had to decide whether to kill you or not. I had to decide whether to let her die or save the other one. It was like, and I did it by accident. I let her die. And I was like, I've pressed the wrong button. Fear, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So what you're saying, at some point, Wales Interactive are going to be on the phone to you.
Yeah.
Gareth?
I keep asking.
Yeah.
Gareth, do you know anyone?
No good actor.
Yeah. Oh, God. What I did find strange about this is, like, it did say the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 version are coming later on.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what would the new consoles do to this? What would the new versions of this be if it's an HMV? Make it more shinier? I don't know.
HMV.
HMV. FMV.
One of those HMVs. Go in, buy record, get out again as fast as you can.
Yeah.
It's a strange choice.
Yeah.
To wait. Just do it in the highest quality.
Yeah. Maybe there's more options. Yeah.
I presume that's where it is, like 4K.
That's what I can imagine. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. We've got the Game Pass for January. Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, I know.
What?
Quite a few.
Oh yeah, there is.
Quite a lot of games.
Sorry, I wasn't being aggressive towards you. What have we got coming out, James? Tell us. Go through them.
We've got the Medium on the 28th of January, and the Yakuza Remaster Collection, which has Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. So that'll keep us busy. What else we got? Donut County.
That's out today, isn't it? On the Thursday, the 21st.
Certainly is. That looks a bit fun.
Yeah.
A bit different. I've not played it, but it looks fun. Desperados 3. That's out today.
Okay.
That's a strategy game.
That's really good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, a bit slow, but really good.
Oh, okay. Good.
And next week on 26th, we've got Cyber Showdown. It's like a ninja game. An 8-bit ninja game. As if we need more of them. Whatever. That's it.
That's good. Medium's their big one, isn't it, this month?
Yeah.
And Yakuza, I think.
Yakuza, yeah. Good. Let's have a little chat about something else. let's have a little kind of chat about...
Not games?
Not what kind of games? But about multimedia games. Because I was thinking multimedia, what do I mean? Multiplayer games. So we were chatting about multiplayer games, I think, before, but this time I want to think about, if you think that the last consoles sort of champion Battle Royale games, with the sort of rise of Fortnite, PUBG, and Apex Legends, and then into Warzone. That was the kind of new way of playing multiplayer. Now, there'd be some people out there who, I think someone said it before when we mentioned this, went, I'll have you know that Battle Royale was back in the early 2000s. Yeah, you're not on the consoles. It wasn't. So I'm arguing with myself now.
Successful.
No.
So Gareth is putting you straight right here and right now.
We're talking about the consoles at this time. But when we talked about it before, but when we played it for the first time, we were really excited, and it was really unique, wasn't it? It did feel like a really unique way of playing a multiplayer game. Especially when most multiplayer experiences feel to be the same thing, and it seems to be especially the kind of shooters, a kind of like either a kind of a capture the flag situation, or what's that other thing when you just team deathmatch, or what's the one you kind of have to just lay down traps and stuff like zombies, what's that called? Siege or
Horde
mode? Yeah, Horde mode. Yeah. So if you had any dream you could dream of anything what you would like to see in a multiplayer kind of like world, forget about tech, what would you like possibly to see stuff in the future?
I'll let Neil go first.
Oh. I'd like to play by myself. No, seriously, it all depends what you're talking about with multiplayer, because not all games, but a lot of games come with different types of multiplayer. Now, in my eyes, what you've just mentioned with like Call of Duty and stuff like capture the flag and domination modes and stuff like that doesn't appeal to me at all. And I'd rather do anything than play those game modes. Mm-hmm. But similarly, there's a lot of people that like them, so it's got to carry on, hasn't it? And then you've got James, who will only play cooperative multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got other games like Forza, where the multiplayer is pretty much the lifeblood once you're done with the single player. But what can you change from that? I really don't know.
But if you had a Forza, so let's take Forza, because that's your
that's my multiplayer game.
And we talk about our own experiences and stuff. That might be a good way of doing it. So if you had a Forza game, what would you want to happen in a driving game?
I'd like it to have slightly shorter loading times. Forza Horizon 4, namely.
Well, it has done that. It's done that already.
No, I really don't know. I don't know what you could do with a racing game apart from race people. I know, like Forza Horizon has got the what's the game mode? Like it's kind of got a battle royale game mode now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But again, I don't care. I just want to race.
So, for example, right, in Project Gotham Racing 3, we talked about this before on the 360. You could watch other races on like a TV channel, couldn't you? So I could go on
tennis games as well.
Yeah, and that was a great little feature. I remember that would be really quite an exciting thing, and that kind of went, didn't it?
But do you really want to do that?
I think I would if I had mates there. We were all together, and we think that might be quite fun to see.
You'd rather sit there watching them race rather than racing.
Not all the time. For example, I'm going to go into something else. But say FIFA, for example. One of the things we always said with FIFA is if we were playing somewhere, we'd like to watch our club playing if you wasn't able to. So it'd be great if you could go into the game and watch anyone playing to.
But why? But if you can switch on your Xbox and sit there and watch a match,
but
I guess the match could be dead. That's the only reason you wouldn't want to play.
I'm trying to think of a good reason for doing it. You might be right.
It'd be good to have substitutes on FIFA. You can have more than 11 players, or you could leave people out. That'd be good.
Yeah, but you only play with 2 people anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can just play with 1. That'd be easier.
But say
what we're saying is let's get rid of multiplayer in all games.
But would you like to see, for example, this is what I think about with Battle Royale. One of the reasons Battle Royale was so popular, I think, right? So if you play a normal kind of shooting Call of Duty game, what you do is you die, you respawn, you die, you respawn, you die, you respawn. Yeah. It has no consequences, is it, really? Except for points. Of course it doesn't.
Which is why it's slightly boring.
Yeah. And with the Battle Royale game, what made it really interesting for us, especially when we used to play PUBG, when it was like we didn't used to kill anything until they got bots involved, is...
Tell anyone.
And we found the tension of that fascinating. And also, it's about when you die, you're out of the game. And you might have to just watch your teammate for another half an hour hide in the toilet. But it had a consequence. And I think that's part of the reason I feel that's been quite interesting with Warzone and stuff is there's a consequence to those games that I think people enjoy. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it's the build-up as well. It's a slow build-up where you can almost slowly make your way to the finish, but you're still doing something. So, like, you start with nothing. So the idea is to get as many supplies as possible before you get to the end. And that's a bit like sorting your character out in an RPG before you go adventuring, but you're already out in the wild. So it adds the extra layer of hazard. I don't know. It's more risky, but it gives you something to do.
Yeah.
While you're out there.
Yeah. There's something. I think that's what I mean about going ahead. Is it something like if you had FIFA, for example, the football game, and if I got a red card in the game, maybe I shouldn't be able to play for 2 games. Maybe I shouldn't have. I'm banned for 1 game. Maybe there's a progression or in the way. Maybe the way I play in that game makes my player get worse or better. How I play, so it's a bit more involved. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All that stuff. That's what I mean.
You've already got that though, have you not? With like skill points and stuff in FIFA.
But nothing.
Your player gets better, don't they?
No, but it won't get worse. Doing well. Yeah, but not by doing. Yeah, exactly. Not by doing well. Yeah, just playing the game.
Anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can not.
Yeah, you can just for turning. And I think that would be it. Just kind of like what FIFA used to do, for example. They used to have quite a good system when you had to do a certain amount of things to get a certain points. I think it was like score 10 goals from outside the box or something. You know,
headers.
Yeah.
Headers and crosses.
And that was good. Things like that gave you that extra challenge. It felt like you were really progressing with stuff. And I think that's a problem with certain market players. We just take it for. Sometimes they just become quite static in that progression, or what you do is you just get an elite bunch of people right at the top of these kind of games that we can't go into Call of Duty really and go because it'd be killed. Well, I can, and because there's such a big difference. When we first started playing Call of Duty on the 360 on a multiplayer, it felt much more of the whole world was different then. You were like, it was such a new thing it felt, and you were just you were trying to work out the rules, and it was much more exciting, I think.
And everyone started on a level playing field.
Yeah.
But some couldn't really get anywhere higher than that. It's just kind of progression system, so that everyone goes up at the same time.
Yeah.
Depending on how well they play. A bit of a handicap, maybe.
It's kind of interesting, I think, when you've played. You two have played sort of multiplayers, RPGs online, like what have we got on the Xbox? The Black Desert or something like that.
Bless online and stuff like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, those kind of huge kind of.
See, I don't even bother with those.
Well, you're not missing out, Neil. But when they first started out, like World of Warcraft, it was something really interested in that when I first started, because it was about people having a sort of community together, joining guilds, and it felt like the world, it was really huge. It didn't feel as maybe it didn't feel as kind of like grindy as before.
I think we'll probably see more of that now on console. More of the MMOs becoming not a grind, but more enjoyable. Because they actually work on consoles without bugs. And because I've tried numerous MMOs on the Xbox, and they're all terrible. It just doesn't work because the console. It can't cope with the power of the what's needed.
But is that talking about Xbox One? Is that different now we've got Series X?
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot more decent MMOs. I think they could be the new Battle Royale.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think so.
And most of them are free as well, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which helps.
So, it certainly will.
It'd be interesting to see what comes out. Because when it works, when you do find a kind of multiplayer game that works, that we really, and like we've had great times on certain games, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I think it's brilliant, but it's does feel a little bit stale at the moment. Apart from golf with your friends, which is the best multiplayer game.
I was just going to say it. Which I believe Team 17 have just bought for 12 million quid.
Oh, really? Oh, well done for them. That's good.
So they will be putting out new DLC and stuff, I think.
Great.
Based on their kind of current franchises. Because I know they've got the Escapists in there and... Well, Worms. Yeah, so that's a brilliant game.
Yeah. Good. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for chatting that through with me. I don't know what conclusions we've arisen to, but...
I don't think we came to any conclusion other than it needs somebody to go forward with something new, and then everybody's going to jump on it again, like the Battle Royale stuff did.
Yeah.
But then that starts to become tedious, doesn't it, when they all start doing it? All kind of looking for the money. Which you can't blame them at all. Yeah. No problem with them doing that.
What I really like is, I think this is what I really liked when we played PUBG, and I think that's what I was trying to say with World of Warcraft when I first played it. I liked being on my own in that world, right? Or with a small group of people. And then when you chance upon people, it's quite exciting. Does that make sense? The problem with sometimes with a big multiplayer world thing is like when you suddenly see 1,000 people in a place with all their things on their head, their names jumping up and down or trying to hit someone, you just go, I don't know what this is just boring. This is weird. Yeah. And someone's shouting on the chat thing going, I need a +4 sword. Anyone help out? It's like, it really becomes quite dull. But when you're somewhere, you think you're on your own, and then suddenly someone pops up, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Good. Right, you two. Let's talk about next week. What are we looking forward to? Neil, what are you on? What have you got?
Games-wise, I'll probably take a look at the Medium, seeing as it's on Game Pass. I possibly wouldn't have even bothered if I'd had to pay money for it. Even though it looks really good.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have spent cash on it. But yeah, so the Medium games-wise. And Bulletproof South Africa on the TV.
What's this?
I like that.
Is it just what it is?
Don't ask me what it is. It's the third series of Bulletproof. That's about all I know. I watched the first two. I liked them. I'm going to watch this one.
Is it the same characters and they're going to South Africa?
I believe so.
Oh, good.
Okay. What more do you want?
That's all I want.
Who are the main characters?
The guy that used to be in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And somebody else.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know their names.
Are you a big fan?
Well, no, I watch it, then I forget about it, and then it come on again, and I watch it again, and think, what happened last time? I don't know. This is how I get through my TV life.
Back on the bike. I'll get back on the bike.
Well, the good thing is, while I'm Zwifting, I can watch Bulletproof South Africa on my laptop, just next to me.
Nice.
So it'd be perfect. Yeah. Because that way, 2 birds, 1 stone.
It's true. Good. James, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Just survival. Getting for another week.
Good. Let's hope you're here next week.
And how are you planning on getting through this week? What
I don't know.
More mango and chocolate?
I mean, if I can, maybe. I need to get some more fruit.
I think this is your task for the week, James, is to find a new culinary delight. Yeah.
I've just thought, is this your health kick? Like January health kick, going on the old fruit.
Oh, is it heck?
Fruit train?
No, I just try anything.
Anything to get you through the week, eh?
Yeah, it's something new. Something fresh.
Brilliant. Good. And I've got the Medium. That's my thing I'm looking forward to. I think that's the only thing I've got next week, apart from work. I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, the Medium. That's it. On Thursday, next Thursday. Gentlemen, thank you so much. James, where can we find you?
If you want to, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at OKidUKO.
Brilliant. Neil, how about you?
I'm on Instagram, Neil363. I'm also on Zwift. Come and find me. Come and race me.
Zwift. Sounds a bit like Saucy, that place. Sounds like a dating site.
Oh, it's certainly not that. Well, that said, it's full of hot, sweaty people, so...
Do the advertising for that. And you can find me on GB Brady on Twitter and Twitch. But until next time, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.